Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another one-man review. Today's going to be a bit of a haul of books that I got from the retailer Partners and Son, and they're a Philadelphia store. I started shopping with them because friend of the channel, Matt Battaglia, recommended them to me as a place that has lots of like self-published stuff that you wouldn't be able to get off a diamond list and stuff like that. So I started following them on Instagram. And then right after I contacted Matt Madden and was talking about his books and got that book, The Bridge, from him and reviewed that, I saw that he had dropped by their store and dropped off, I believe it was these four books. And I'd been wanting to get more of his work, so I said, hey, immediately contacted them. I was like, hey, I want those Matt Madden books. And then I looking at their website, found some other stuff that I had to grab. Tried to limit myself to like $100. One of the things that I ordered they didn't have, so I said, all right, just based on what I ordered, pick something and send it to me. And then I think what's going to happen is we're going to start playing like a game, like a grab bag game with Partners and Son, and hopefully Menachem at Escape Pod Comics. And on months that I haven't spent too much on things that I know are coming out, I'll go to one of the two of those stores and be like, I don't know, here's $100. Give me stuff you think I'll like. So most of this is stuff I ordered, but I wanted to do a like Partners and Son haul. So it starts with the book that they sent me that I hadn't ordered. It's called Standstill by Olivia Friedrichs. It looks like a risograph book. It's kind of diary comics. I think it looks like her day-to-day dealing with quarantine and COVID. I think this is the first thing I've seen that's really explicitly dealing with COVID. Diary comics, not totally my thing, but this one is like formally interesting in a way where it's not so like talky-telly. It's just more showy, and so I do like it. And again, the risograph thing showing up is cool. But there's just stuff like this that I like that's just really good comics, where it's like her cleaning the house and you just see the piles of laundry going, and they're slowly getting folded and everything's getting put together. So that passage of time happening in a really interesting way. And you'll see, even though they're dealing with what's obviously like a day-to-day type of thing, a lot of it's just visuals. There's not a lot of words. There's not a lot of just explaining things from a first person point of view. And even when it gets into like more routine stuff, I kind of like the repetitious nature of the routine stuff. So it has a lot of components that I really like out of comics, almost like instructional comics and things like that. I don't know that any of the stories in particular stuck. It's just the overall vibe of like how the things are constructed that I enjoyed about this book. Like being on a Zoom meeting and having all of these calls within calls. And then just, some really, really nice illustrations. This clean line risograph look that seems to be kind of big right now. So yeah, it was an enjoyable book. It was a good first pick from them, and I can't wait to play the next round of this like grab bag game. These are the ones I ordered though. The first four are Matt Madden's books. This is Terrifying Steamboat Stories #3, so it's just short story collections. Really excited about the first story. I've been working on going back in editing and relettering and putting together a book of my old short stories. And there's one about taking a drive, and so all of these shots out the window with the window as a panel were really like fun to me. It's another one of those things where I'm like, wow, like there's a lot of stuff I feel in common in interests and reactions to the world as Matt, and we've been talking a little back and forth, and I think I was right that we kind of kindred spirits in a bit of a way. So I really like that story out of this one. Matt's oftentimes doing like constrained comics, and when you do constrained comics, or formal kind of exercises, like this one's like a formalist joke where the picture slowly gets drawn. It's when did you get here? Oh, just now. But the when did you get here is there ahead of time. That kind of stuff is more like clever and gag based or formal based. So I was really also happy to see a couple of these books by Matt, Odds Off and Black Candy, are both more just like straight up narratives. And it was really fun to see his power as a straight up dramatist and a straightforward dramatist that like doesn't rely on too many tricks. Each one has like a weird little sci-fi convention in it. This one, Black Candy, was particularly unsettling to me because it's about a guy who donates sperm, and then there's an experiment being done with his sperm. I tried to be a donor kind of against my will a little bit when I was in undergrad. I was married at the time, and we didn't have much money. And so my wife was like, you should look into this. And I went and applied. But my family has too much of a history of hay fever, so they wouldn't take it. But some of the scenes in here of him being in the office and just the idea of like the whole thing, which unsettled me a bit to begin with, that I could have like children out there that I didn't know about, and then to think that someone would be doing something like some kind of untoward experiments with that was extra unsettling. So really enjoyed that book. Odds Off is also kind of a curious. It's really just a straightforward like romantic drama, but it has this weird subplot in it where this character has got word lice, is what they call it, and it's literally like lice that run around on the letters he's writing, and it gives him like a creative block. And they're kind of talking about, have you been swapping discs with anyone? And I like that as like a way to talk about plagiarism, which isn't really what they're doing in the book. It's not what Matt seems to be suggesting too much, but it's funny. So it's him kind of crushing on this guy here, and then it's about this guy's relationship with his girlfriend, and that all comes to some kind of culmination by the end of the book. I really, really enjoyed this page here where the girlfriend comes home and has had a long day and like strips her clothes off, but then just keeps going. Skin, muscles, everything comes off. So that's just such a great visual metaphor for exhaustion. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed seeing Matt as more of a straightforward storyteller, really landing emotional impact. This is a Fine Mess is a collection of shorts. It has a comic that's a loop. It's like a never-ending loop on the cover, so that's more of his formalist stuff. Some more just like straightforward stuff, some short stories, some more drama stuff where he's playing like with a two-color print, and then some of the 99 ways to tell a story from the exercises and style. So what that is, I know I talked about the book, but I didn't show it, but he's telling the same one-page story of going downstairs and shouting upstairs to his wife, Jessica, what time it is, and then looking in the fridge. So some totally banal story, but telling it in different ways, telling it in different styles, telling it from different points of view, doing it as like a photo story, doing it as old cartoon strips, doing it in black and white. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm saying. It's hard to be emotionally relevant in a thing like that, but they're really compelling experiments. And to see an artist walk in both worlds and combine from time to time those two worlds is really cool. So I'm going to keep looking for as much of Matt's stuff as I can get. I've been enjoying talking to him. Hopefully we'll get him on the channel at some point. This book, Foldable, by Hugh, Nguyen, is basically, it made no sense to me, but it's okay. Like, it works like poetry. Like, it's evocative of feelings. There's doesn't seem to be, well, actually the artist, there's an interview in the back where the artist says there was some kind of system for determining all of this, but I don't see any of it. I kind of wish that thing in the back wasn't there, and that I would have just been able to go through it. It was something to do with being like someone who has moved to Canada from another culture, being Vietnamese. but I don't know. I wouldn't get any of that. That's so specific for something that's so interpretive like this. I do think it does a really good job, though, of portraying like mental states, the idea of mental states. I don't think you could extract the specific mental state, so it's a weird thing to tell people in the back what you're doing. But um, when I was reading this, the one of the biggest things I thought is that I wish, like in Doctor Strange 2, when they make the movie, that like if they go into the astral plane and have like a fight between their spirits, that this is what it looks like. This seems more accurate to me about what a mental battle or a spiritual battle would look like divorced from pictorial elements. Like you can't just make him see through. So that's what I thought when I was reading this book. Is this feels like some kind of spiritual battle thought process? And I mean, it is according to the artist. It just I never would have got the specifics, and I don't need to know the specifics. So I would really like to see a bunch more stuff like this. I looked up Hugh Nguyen on Instagram, and this is really indicative of their art in general, their art practice. So I don't know. I really like this. I would like to see more comics like this. It's not something you read, but you enjoy it visually. And then really super excited, like really excited about this trio of books and this artist, Andrew White. Never heard of him before. Saw him on Partners and Son website. Thought those look really cool. Got him, and man, am I excited about these books. Really amazing artist, really cool formal tricks, good stories in them. This one, My Name is Martin Shears. And they all kind of have this like sense that images are slipping away and memories slipping away and you can't get a hold of anything. This one is about like a guy who's just got such a bland face that he almost doesn't have a face, and people are kind of mistaking him for other people. It's really short. I mean, I think a work like this, it lands within the space that it has, but I also think like, you know, what could this artist do with like 250 pages? Maybe that's too much for a story about a man who's a nobody and just like this faceless avatar. But yeah, I feel like this could be expanded upon. I really love this like erased panel here. Reminds me of a William Kentridge animation. But there's always that sense of erasure going on in Andrew White's work that it seems unique to him. These two, I think N follows M, but M had the more compelling stuff. I mean, it's both good, but these really cool, like I believe from looking at Instagram, all the different layers are being drawn separately in pencil or painted and then scanned in and color adjusted and put together. So it really looks like a lithograph or a screen print where it's just multiple inks on top of each other, even though it's obviously printed digitally. And again, all that see-throughness and stuff really gives a sense of like memory, and these faces are always kind of eyeless or featureless, and they really just seem to be short memories, like fading images of something that you're trying to grab onto, which makes the impact of the story lessen, because it's like by the time you're done with it, you kind of forgot what the characters did, at least me. But that like fits the point. Normally I'd complain about it, but it fits the point. But man, just stylistically, absolutely in love with his stuff. Totally jealous about the simplicity and the calligraphic nature. The pencil look is really great. You know, some really awesome stuff there. This one looks like it's signed on the back, and then also this like petrified forest tree, I guess. But it's also, this looks hand drawn on there, like it's indented and stuff. So I think that he went back and signed it and hand drew it. So that's cool. I'm super excited. And that's an interesting idea on a limited run, that you have something like this that you could freestyle over, and that seems to be kind of part and parcel with his process anyways. that there's this layering, and that maybe these things could change. Kind of this Dave Mazzucchelli looking forest. This one, M, had really, really amazing formal experiments. Yeah, so here I think maybe these panels are hand drawn in after the fact, because again, it's signed. I don't know, it's hard to tell. But the print quality on this is amazing. Like, it really looks like pencil on paper, and lots of different colored pencils. But I don't think they're being drawn in different colored pencils. I really think they're being drawn all at once and then color adjusted. So all of these changing color coded things, interesting erasures of letters, different colorings of the letters. These again are all seem to be like memories of trips taken to meet lovers, family members, things like that. Then the middle section of the book has all of these really beautiful like overlaid colors. You know, it looks like color overlay prints, images overlaid over different colors, and just, yeah, some really compelling design, really compelling like rhythmic stuff. This trick I found especially interesting in terms of thinking about memory. It says a few stray wrinkles appear on his face for the first time, and you see just the stray wrinkles as like this abstract set of marks. And a couple pages later, you see the drawing of the face with the wrinkles overlaid. But a lot of how the colors are chosen, they're really hard to see. Like when I photograph them, they actually show up better on camera, so I don't know how they'll show up in the video, but in person it's really hard to even see the face. And that like matches how my brain works when I'm trying to think of an image. It's like there, but I can't grasp it. It's fading. It's hard to see. Really clever stuff with dialogue that we either already did or we will be doing an episode of Formalism Friday on this particular panel here. So just all kinds of really cool stuff. Different styles colliding together in the like that soft pencil look and then the harsh computer look. This is another one back here that's part of that Formalism Friday that we're looking at, but where there's lettering on here that I can't even read until I took a photograph of it. And that has a narrative purpose of like this voiceless character that's kind of being ignored by a loved one. So the collision of the formal decisions and the emotional narrative things being told in here, like, I know this dude's got more work, and I'm going to be trying to hunt it all down. I got to talk to partner and son and see if they have more, or order it directly from him or something, because, yeah, there's a lot in here that I'm thinking about. Really beautiful stuff. So definitely all of these artists I would suggest going and getting. And then this one I had to get just because it looked totally crazy. There's no story in it at all, and you know, it's hard to even be critical of it for that, but it's all one gigantic fold out piece. And it's basically like a junior high kid that just spent a year and a half on one drawing. I mean, like a kid who can actually draw, but it has that kind of crude, underground, you know, untrained artist type of thing going on. God knows if they are or not. But it's just this huge, it's called Elvis Road. Who's the artist on this? I don't even know. It's by Buenaventura Press. I don't even see an artist's name somewhere in here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even see the artist's name. Oh, here we go. X Robo plus H Ruman. So 2 people working on this. It's just A, impressive as a piece of like production that you can make a book like this. B, it's impressive as like how much time. It's like the craziest, sickest Where's Waldo. My criticism is I don't know that there's anything in it that would make me like stick around and look at all the details. Like, you could be with this for days on end, but I don't know, like I just got better things to do. So in that regard, I don't think it's that great, but it's still a really cool object and really impressive. I think the way that that could have been solved, and this would be totally crazy, or maybe it's in here and my eyes can't keep up with it. If there would have been like one really recognizable character, and maybe I'm just too overwhelmed to see it, but if there was one really recognizable character that I could follow through, like this was all one big panel that the character moved across, and I got some more sense of narrative from it, whereas it seems like this is just a freeze in time of like absolute end of the world chaos, and it's all happening at once. I think it would be an interesting experiment, for someone else to run, is like, could you do some chaotic thing like this but give it more of like a sequential sense than a freeze frame sense? The only sequence you get here is like the flipping, but really I think you're supposed to unfold this thing. So those are the books I got from Partners and Sons, and really thank them for even having a store that has like all of this off the beaten path kind of thing. I definitely like, this is what really excites me about comics, and we're planning on we're figuring out how to do this grab bag thing so I don't wind up with repeats. But that will be something that, every month or 2 or 3, hopefully I'll be getting another package from them or from Menachem, and we can all be finding out about these smaller self-publish things. But recommend all these books. Great stuff. Give Partners and Sons some love. Check out their catalog. Don't order too much cool stuff, though, because like they need it hanging around to send to me. Thanks for following along, guys. Take it away, Jack.
You want to see all these books? Smash that subscribe button and the like button and the bell, and then you get them.